What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of the Reignmakers Fantasy Golf Show. I just have one question. Do you guys think the Streamlords, the Overlords, the book about streaming says that you should change the time of your stream? I don't know, three, four. I honestly don't even know how many times I've changed the time of this stream. Shout out to you guys all. Literally, shout out to you guys all. And yeah, let's hit the bagpipes. It has been a crazy week in the world of OTM. Football is off and running. The NFL is ready to go. But double audio. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. If you guys are hearing me twice, hit me in the chat. But football is off and running. But in my opinion, the true degenerates, the true fantasy sports, the true fantasy sports heroes are here tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Talking about, what the tweet said, the greatest show on grass. The PGA Tour is back. The shortest off season in the world. What were we off? Were we off 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I think we were off a maximum of 4 weeks. I think we might have been off less than that, 3 weeks. Feels literally like forever. Pumped to have golf back. Pumped to have a Friday cut sweat. My wife continues to give me continues to challenge me this evening. As most of you know, I'm in PA. Can't play Reignmakers from Pennsylvania. We are headed to California tomorrow. Little family vacation, little trip. Going back to San Diego, one of the best places in the world, best little beach towns in the world, Mission Beach, California. And I have yet to submit Reignmakers lineups. So the question is, do I drive to West Virginia tonight? It's about an hour and a half round trip to submit my lineups, or we're in California, we're in Napa for the Fortinet. I don't know how you say the brand. Don't they do cybersecurity or something? I'm not exactly sure what exactly they do, but we're in Napa. So I was checking out tee times. I have a 6 a.m. flight. So literally, I just might not sleep if I drive to submit lineups tonight. But we're in Napa. So tee times aren't until 9:55. I have a 6 a.m. flight. I land in Denver at like 7:30. Am I taking the plunge to just try to submit these when I land in Denver? Can you play Rainmakers in Denver? That's a question. I need to look all of this stuff up. But anyways, we're here to talk about the slate. We're here to talk about the golfers. I mean, it's sort of insane that Max Homa going for a three-peat. Justin Thomas makes the Ryder Cup, but stays in the field. Clearly is trying to prove something to himself. And then the question that I have is Sahith Theegala. What do we do with Sahith Theegala? I don't really know what to do. I have no Sahith Theegala. I have thought about making a purchase on Sahith, but in general, I just don't know if he's worth it. We're going to go through course history. I'm going to share some Rick Run Good. Shout out Rick, man. I really would be lost without his site. I ran a custom model with the stats that I like this week, which are driving and approach most likely, but it's going to be a birdie fest. So you need some putting on POA. And I came up with one of the most absurd lineups ever. And Rick's site is all geared towards DFS. So it's mostly geared around DFS pricing, but the lineup that I had that came out of the model was absolutely insane. Webb Simpson, Akshay Bhatia, Doug Gim, Taylor Pendrith, Kevin Yu, Charlie Hoffman. I mean, that is just a ridiculous lineup. We're fall golf whenever you get a lineup out of the model that has those 6 golfers in it. Just kind of insane. But let's go through pricing. Let's talk questions you guys have. The question will be to Max Homa or not. I certainly will be Max Homa-ing. I have a good bit of Max Homa 2 rares. So we'll have a captain Max Homa rare team, and then we'll also have Max Homa in our top elite team. shortest par 72 maybe in the entire PGA Tour. Going to be really, really short course for a par 72. I think all 4 par 5s are reachable in 2. So you're going to have tons of eagle opportunities. It is certainly going to be a birdie fest. If you're one of those people that don't like birdie fests, like, you're not going to want to watch this tournament. There's going to be so many birdies. So if you got golfers missing 8-footers and 10-footers for birdie or for eagle, you're gonna be tilted. But I'm here for it. I'm here for the tilt. I'm here for the Friday cut sweat. The biggest events in the next calendar season of the PGA Tour aren't going to have cut sweats. At least half of them, 4 of them, are not going to have cut sweats. So I'm just here soaking it all in. And there was absolutely no way I was going on vacation and not having DraftKings Reignmakers lineups to sweat. So I got to get these lineups submitted some way, somehow. We'll also play a little DFS. I think the fall golf swing is one of the best swings for DFS. Get to take some stands. We're going to talk about some young golfers who really have a chance to make a name for themselves. Steven Jaeger is top priced in this field, plus 2,200. Cam Davis, top priced in this field, plus 2,000. Eric Cole, someone who has been striking irons better than just about anybody. I mean, got to be a top 10 iron player this past season. And he's in the field. The field is actually more strong than I would have thought when I first looked at it. You sort of have a mix of the top 3 guys, in my opinion, most well-known and sort of most pedigree: Homa, JT, Sahith Theegala. Then you have a bunch of guys that can make birdies in bunches, but are just young, trying to get experience on the PGA Tour. Cam Davis, Steven Jaeger, Eric Cole, not a young guy, but definitely like still kind of getting experience in the PGA Tour. Who else is out there? Nick Hardy, Garrick Higo, Justin Suh. I mean, Mark Hubbard. These guys can make birdies with the best of them. Some of my favorite names there: Higo, as we know, Hubbard. I love Mark Hubbard. I think he's a great play. And then you have the old guys, the guys that are just grinding, the guys that are out there playing because they love the game: Shez Reavie, Matt Kuchar, Kevin Streelman, Webb Simpson, guys that have been around the PGA Tour for a long time, have fantastic history, know how to make cuts, know how to get their ball in the hole. The question is, will you make enough birdies? What's the winning score going to be? Let's take a look at what last year's results looked like. Last year, this course, from what I recall, from what I've read, from what I've seen around the industry, it played really firm and fast in the last couple of years. So it actually played harder. But Homa won at 16 under par last year. Homa won this 2 years in a row, so he's going for a three-peat. Won it at 19 under par the year before. If this course is soft, I mean, we're going to get to 20 under par here. Prior to Homa winning it, Stuart Sink won it minus 21. Prior to Stewie Sink, an old guy, Cam Champ, won it. Saw some people talking Cam Champ, specifically Giant Hammer, said he's back on Cam Champ. I am not on Cam Champ. I have one Cam Champ core in my lineup, or in my collection, but won't have a ton of Cam Champ. Just think his game has been off. Can he come back? Sure. Is it the time to be on Cam Champ? I'll probably wait and see. I wouldn't advertise going out there and buying any Cam Champ. Anyways, let me say hello to the people. JM Stogie, JM Laces, JM Josh Allen. I mean, is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it evening? No one even knows. This is fantastic. Remember when the show was supposed to start 6 hours ago? I literally changed the show time. I don't know how many times. 6 p.m. was sort of my go-to time. And then shout out to Big Draft Energy. Had a great TOC stream. So trying to support the people who are talking our products was fun to listen to them talk TOC as just participants in the game. So shout out Big Draft Energy. If you guys aren't following them, definitely go give them a follow. Link is out there in the TOC Fantasy channel in the Discord. Link in the Discord in the description. Link for Discord in the description. JM Brandon. Explore Inform loves me too. Love that. Max Homa and move on, says PPE. Yeah, it's pretty hard to ignore Max this week. Clearly, in my opinion, best player in the field. Ryder Cup coming up, defending champion back to back. Not many people on the PGA Tour have won a tournament 3 times in a row. So Max, there was two other times this season. Someone was trying to three-peat. They certainly didn't do it. Can Max three-peat? Certainly a field that Max can win in pretty easily. Who else? Remember when Camp Champ won this event? Yeah, it feels like 10 years ago. Yeah, it was before COVID. So that was, or actually, yeah, right before COVID, 2019, 21, 17 under par. Cam Champ, man, I don't know. Just like one of those. I mean, Cam Champ is the poor guy's Tony Finau, in my opinion. Nike guy, hits it afar. Certainly like a very marketable golfer, has the look, has everything about him, has the air about him. I mean, he just hasn't won enough. Hasn't lived up to what I thought Cam Champ's ability was. So golf is hard, man. Golf is really, really hard. 4 par 5s, pick bombers. Yeah, I completely agree. If you got to be able to drive the golf ball. I don't think it's really a penal course though. Water on 2 holes. You're going to be able to bomb and gouge it. It's short. These guys are going to have wedges, flip wedges into greens. If you're a long hitter, yeah, there's going to be birdies made. I think the putter is going to be more important than I was initially thinking. I was very heavy driver, very heavy approach. God knows it's the PGA Tour. You need to hit approach shots to make birdies. So I'm always heavy approach. I was just less on the putter, but then it's POA. We know guys that like to putt POA really well. We're back in California, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens for that. We're going to look at pricing too. I'm pretty shocked by Reignmakers PGA pricing. I'll take a look at price. I'm interested in what you guys think. I thought about selling. A good bit of cards. I actually have 2. I have a Dylan Fratelli Elite and a Carl Yuan Elite. I think the difference, I guess, is there's just not really much buyers. I think there's buyers at core, buyers at rare. There's really not a ton of buyers at elite. And the delta between the low ask and then the offers are pretty significant. I think Carl Yuan was like low ask $18, but literally not one offer. So I listed him at $13 or $14 just because I'm not going to have him in a lineup. Didn't really need to jam him in there. So I thought, hey, let's try to sell him. Hasn't sold yet. So interested in what your guys' experience has been. I know several people in the community have been able to move assets. Interested in how you've been doing that and want to hear your take. Should we be moving assets? I've sort of chalked it up that I'm probably going to hold on to the core of my cards. We know there's going to be contests in 24 for 23 cards. So I'm happy to keep playing the game, happy to kind of keep getting the utility. I really, I mean, for the love of the game here, if you were to tell me I had what I had going on in this week, and that I needed to be driving around to submit some NFL lineups, I would have just chalked it up and said, I don't really need to submit NFL lineups. But I can't really go without a PGA sweat. If there's an opportunity to get some fantasy lineups together for PGA, I'm going to do it. I really do. I think it's just the best fantasy sport out there. I think Reignmakers as a product, we're getting into Reignmakers NFL. I really enjoyed watching a Reignmakers NFL from the sidelines. Just a little too much time commitment to be doing all the things that I'm doing and be driving around to different states to get lineups submitted. So I'm sitting Reignmakers out, but really watching Justin do Reignmakers and get into the game. So I'm interested in what you guys that are playing Reignmakers football and Reignmakers PGA. What are some of the things that are different? What are some of the things that you like? Fire the comments. Let me know. I'll be asking these questions over in the Discord, and yeah, just trying to get a feel for it. I'm excited about Reignmakers into the future. Excited about next year's Reignmakers products. Interested to see what DraftKings does and as far as timing. I really like these Reignmakers football showdown packs. I'm interested to see if DraftKings does some stuff for golf in 24 that's different than 23. I'm sure they're thinking about it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens as we move from fall golf into the spring swing, the early January swing over there in California, when we get to all of the good golf and after 2023 and into 2024. Just no rest for the weary on the PGA Tour. Plenty of golfers out there that want to compete, that can compete, that are just elite level golfers when it compares to other pros out there. All right, let's share some screen. Let's go through the pricing. Let's go through pricing first. As always, otmnft.com. The top nav is getting busy, guys. The top nav is getting busy. We are here, RMPGA. We are Players View. And yeah, I mean, look at this elite pricing. You got to be putting offers in. I can't fathom spending. I mean, I guess Max and JT up because of Ryder Cup, but after Ryder Cup, I mean, if we're looking at schedule here, after Ryder Cup, we got the Sanderson Farms. Max and JT are not going to be playing Sanderson Farms. They're going to be just coming back from the Ryder Cup. US, Europe, Ryder Cup. Would love to hear takes. Hit me in the chat. What do we think? But 2 months ago, thought the US was going to waltz to victory. And 3 weeks ago, couldn't believe that the United States was a favorite. Think Europe is going to put up a heck of a battle. Always hard to win on European soil as the away squad. Going to be an awesome Ryder Cup. Going to be really fun in Rome, Italy. So should be really fun. We'll definitely have streams for the Ryder Cup. I still have no idea. I will admit I've never played fantasy golf for the Ryder Cup, so I have no idea what the format is going to be. Going to be brand new. So it's definitely going to be a 2-week show the week of September 29th, trying to figure out Ryder Cup, figure out lineups, figure out scoring system, and all of that. Going to be fantastic. But yeah, they're not going to play Sanderson Farms. I doubt they play the Shriners. Zozo, I doubt it. I mean, yeah, who knows? I just have no idea who is going to play in these events. I just can't fathom paying the elite pricing for these guys. Definitely work offers. I think that's probably the best way to pick up guys. The Ryder Cup limited field, really small field, not many golfers in the field, and the Hero World Challenge also limited field. So I think the Zozo is also a relatively limited field, if I'm correct. But like, yeah, there's not many full events left. So the full field events are going to be few and far between. And I think we got to look at Ryder, or we got to look at FedEx Cup rankings, and we got to look at these guys that are like 70th through. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So 51, ranked 51 and beyond from the standings through playoffs can earn points in the fall, which is correct. So nobody, like Homa's not earning any points for this. JT will earn some points for this, but like anybody that's 70 and below, these are the guys: Garrett Kegos, KH Lees, Justin Suh, Dylan Wu. Like I could see these guys playing a lot of fall events. You want to get into the elevated events. You need to move up the board. If you get a win here, it's your first win. Will Gordon, you get a win that's your first win, and you're in an absolute different territory on the PGA Tour with a win under your belt. Going to get into so many different events, new events, higher elevated events in terms of payouts. So yeah, I think these young guys, Carson Young, Pendrith didn't have the best season, was pretty hyped up. Chad Ramey played pretty well. Luke List is back. Talk about bombers. Luke List going to be my captain in my elite squad. So yeah, I think these young guys going to play a good bit. We'll see what happens. But you want to win. These guys want to win. I don't think they care. Nobody, not any single one of these young golfers care about the strength of the field. Heck, I mean, you got guys like Matt Kuchar in this field. Why is Matt Kuchar playing in this field? To move up, to play in the elevated events, because he can compete. So to me, it's a matter of trying to find the guys that are hot, that are working on their game, that are feeling good. And yeah, a couple of the guys that I like beyond the top three: Steven Yeager, Eric Cole, Brendan Todd, and then Mark Hubbard. I think those guys to me are guys that have the ability to score, who have pretty good history, and can win a birdie fest. It's hard to win a birdie fest. You need to have elite upside to win a birdie fest, to string tons and tons of birdies together. And yes, these guys all can do that. But when you're Taylor Pendrith and you're coming off the season you're coming off, it's hard to imagine going to win an event at 20 under par. It's hard to imagine stringing 4 rounds together at 6, 7 under each round. A bad round is 2, 3 under par. So can he do it? Certainly. Is he informed to be able to do it? I don't think so. Is he going to be in a lot of fields, or was he in fields that were this quote unquote weak all season long? Definitely not. But yeah, to me, it's going to be a battle of who can make the most birdies. So yeah, we'll build some lineups. Interested in who you guys like. Hit me in the chat if I didn't call somebody out that you like. But yeah, as I scroll down, Doug Gim, another guy who can make birdies in a bunch. We know, you guys know, I love Dylan Wu. Think Dylan Wu is one of the most consistent golfers. My question on Dylan Wu is, can he win a birdie event, a birdie fest? Can Dylan Wu get to 20 under par? I think Dylan Wu is the kind of golfer that can scrap together bogey-free rounds. Will play 1 under, 2 under, 3 under golf. Not sure that he has the firepower to go 6, 7 under par for 3, 4 rounds. So that's my concern on Dylan Wu. But I love him. Think his golf is fantastic as always. Comes down to, can you make the putts? And then a couple other guys that are older that have talent. Webb Simpson, Kevin Streelman, pretty good history around here. We'll look at Rick's site, take a look at history. And then yeah, I mentioned him at the top, Brendan Todd. And then where's Cooch? There's Cooch right there. Yeah, I can't pay elite pricing. So I'm mostly going off rare pricing these days. Do we see misprices from a rare standpoint is kind of what I'm looking at, because I just don't think any of these elite low asks are very liquid. Would be shocked if there are. Let's take a look at market and see. Let's go playing. Yes. And let's filter by volume. And let's go elite to see. Okay, 3 buys. Nate Lashley, Brendan Todd. Brendan Todd, a pretty good buy at elite. Eric Van Rooyen, Jaeger. Okay. Yeah. So you're going to get 2, 3 buys at elite. Most everybody else going to be at 1. And I would imagine that these that are 1, 2, or 3, I would imagine a lot of these are offers being accepted, people trying to get out from underneath their cards. But yeah, I can't see. Let's actually look here. See what we see. What was the Nate Lashley purchases at? Okay, 60 is the floor. Top offer $6. Okay, $15. 3 sales at $15. 15 listed. $6. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, the delta is there. So I think a couple of things from that. I think 1, collection and low ask of your collection is very illiquid at the top end. So if you got a good bit of elites, above elites, I you guys know I haven't played a ton. I haven't played at all at Legendary or Reignmakers. So I'm pretty lost when it comes to liquidity there. But even at elite, liquidity is pretty low. So I would just be super careful in trying to evaluate your low ask, your portfolio, versus looking at the offer numbers on some of these cards. So just my 2 cents there. All right, where's chat at? Any other chatters here? Okay, no one else. Just talking to myself here, guys. All right, let's build some lineups, I guess. I feel like, okay, wait, hold on. I want to show. Let's show Rick's cheat sheet. Again, shout out Rick Run Good. I think it's definitely one of my favorite golf sources. This is his cheat sheet. Like I said, most everything on Rick's site is, first and foremost, it's gated. Need a subscription. But everything is really geared around DFS. So a lot of stuff around salary, projected ownership for salary for DFS. But I like this site because you could see recent performance. So there's a recent performance and then course history here. So we see Homa, good history, obviously back-to-back winner. A couple other guys that stand out. So Brendan Todd, 9th last year, 22nd the year before that. 3 greens here for Bo Hostler. JJ Spawn, pretty good history. But then I was looking at Sahith. I want to look at Sahith. Okay. Sahith 3 times here, 6th last year, 47th the year before, 14th the year before that. Yeah, I'm gonna have no Sahith, and I'll probably regret it because, of course, Sahith has the upside to win this event. Maybe we'll make a DFS lineup with some Sahith in it. I don't understand. I suppose that Cam Davis is a bomber, and that would make sense from a DraftKings pricing standpoint. Man, I like Steven Yeager. I just don't understand it. Don't really get how Steven Yeager is 400 more expensive in DFS than Sahith Theegala. Just doesn't make any sense to me. All the other pricing pretty much makes sense. Yeah, maybe we'll make it. Maybe we'll make a DFS lineup. Let me know. Do you guys want to make a DFS lineup? Let me know. All right, let's put some lineups. I already put some lineups together, so we'll just walk through them. Lineup builder, best tool on the site. Reignmakers would be and was extremely difficult in the early going without lineup builder. So if you're out there playing Reignmakers, somehow haven't used the lineup builder on otmnft.com, don't know what you're doing, sign up now. Go build your lineups. The click of 2 buttons, the export, and then the enter lineups on DraftKings to enter, hey, people out there with 50 lineups. I got 9 lineups this week. Feels like a lot for a fall swing event, but I am sure some of you out there can put together 25 plus lineups. So, all right, at the top, here's the elite squad that I got. Luke List, Grayson Sigg, Carl Yuan, Kevin Roy, Dylan Fratelli, those 5 guys. Fratelli and Carl Yuan I listed. I'm a Kevin Roy stan. Shout out Kevin Roy. Got a chance to meet the guy, Tampa guy. Have some connections to Kevin. Young guy, PGA Tour rookie, breakthrough kind of guy. Hits long irons, fantastic, great iron player. Rooting for him. So I got Kevin Roy in my lineup over Carl Yuan. Maybe that's a little bit of a homer. Maybe that's a little bit short-sighted. The odds, obviously, not exactly in Kevin's favor, but I'm riding the Kevin Roy train. And then the other 2 guys, pretty simple, right? Luke List, Grayson Sigg, both guys pretty good. I'm distracted by Luke List's ability to hit the driver. I do think Grayson Sigg's pretty good. Let's look at, I don't know DraftKings pricing for these guys, but let's look at history on Sigg and Luke List. Luke List, 7,600 on DraftKings. Ugh, pretty ugly history. 100, 51st, 65, 100. Course history, not everything, of course, but yeah, you would like to see. You got a 4th all the way back in 2019. And then Grayson Sigg, 7,400. Made the cut both times in his first 2 events, 50th, 1st, and 30th. Where is he? OTT 0.14, approach 0.1, around the green 0.26. So really it comes down to putting for Grayson Sigg, and then Luke List just kind of all over the place around the green and putting. Definitely know he's not a great putter, but off the tee and approach, going to be so much in better spots. So yeah, I'm going to keep Luke List as captain. Obviously there could be a chance that Grayson Sigg outscores Luke List, but we'll go with the boom bust play of Luke List. And then I got myself a Max Homa and a Brandon Todd. Love both of them. Think Max could certainly win. If Max wins, it will be pretty hard to win the guaranteed contests without him. I think he'll be as owned as we've seen in Reignmakers is my guess. I was taking a look at a number of entries as well for Elite, and this is skyrocketed. 2.4K entries. So much for people out there, and shout out to the PGA Tour guys. Shout out to the golf fantasy lovers. I was thinking week 1 NFL, Reignmakers, DFS, so much NFL action that people would just be like, don't want to play Reignmakers PGA, but so much for that. 2.4K, 5K cash to first. We got a payout structure out to 50, 485 cash. So, I mean, it's still a fantastic contest to sweat. 5K at the top is no joke. We're used to playing for 10K at the top at Elite, but I like the flatter payout structure here. I'm glad they didn't go with 10K to try to lure everyone in. If you've listened to the show, I'm much much bigger fan of flatter payout structures. I get it. People like to chase the first place prize, but if this were 10K at the top, everything else, the other prizing would suck. So happy that first, second, and third, all taking them 4 figures, and $50 as a floor in the elite contest, pretty good in my opinion. So 2.4K in, 485 cash, should be a fun sweat. I started looking at single entries. I did enter a single entry for a rare. I don't have a lineup. I don't have 2 lineups in elite. If I did, I probably would fire one in the single entry versus firing both in guaranteed cash. 176, 1K to first. It's so high of a payout structure. 1K, 500, 100. You're kind of just saying that if you're different enough, you're playing for 1,000. Interested to see if anyone's playing elite single entry. I'd be interested to get a link. I'll try to get a link from DraftKings. I'd be interested just to see ownership percentages and what kind of lineups are in this single entry. I have to imagine this is people that have tons of cards and maybe they have duplicates at the top and putting together a lineup like Sahith captain with some other guys sprinkled in that are in that 2K to 3,500, maybe 5,000 range. That'd be my guess. They're going to be some good lineups. The history of single entry on Reignmakers has been that, in my opinion, from what I've seen, they're all pretty good lineups in there. I used to think initially that maybe someone was just kind of firing any old lineup in single entry, but that wasn't the case. Earlier in the season, I saw a higher ownership percentage on Scotty in the single entries than he was in the guaranteeds, meaning that there were enough people with duplicate Scotties, or they were happy to just put Scotty in a single entry lineup. So pretty chalky single entry lineups there. So for me, don't have enough to put an elite single entry in, but I did put a rare single entry in. And I've got duplicates of KH Lee and Seabez. I just flip-flopped them. Seabez, I got him in the guaranteed cash contest as my captain, and then KH Lee flip-flopped here in the single entry. So I'm high on guys like Seabez. I'm a little less high on KH Lee, or my expectations are tempered on KH Lee. Just so boom bust. And then Alex Norton is just the kind of guy who I don't. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I always see Alex Norton when he plays bad, but Alex Norton always has great odds. I would just never bet Alex Norton. Like plus 4,500 kind of completely stands out to me. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Where's Alex Norton at? Let's see. 36th here last year. Recent form is pretty good, I suppose. 3M 13th. BM Wyndham 38th. Okay. Yeah, maybe I can be more convinced on Alex Norton. Who knows? Maybe he plays well. I just feel like every time I have Alex Norton sweat, he plays pretty terrible. So that's just my take. Ready for Max to bring home the three-peat? Yeah. I think it could certainly happen. Homa's definitely the favorite. 2 in a row, going for 3 in a row. All right, back to lineups. So yeah, Luke List, Grayson Sig, Kevin Roy, Max Homa, Brennan Todd, and then elites. So I got Max Homa. I will say this: Andrew Putnam. I did have to call up the boss. TJ said Andrew Putnam for the win this week. So he's on Putnam, likes the course history, likes recent form. So he's on Putnam. I can't be captaining Andrew Putnam over Max Homa, but I'll have him in here. Lucas Herbert. I was big on Lucas Herbert around the match play. I was super pumped that I thought he was going to get into the Masters. He was on the bubble boy to get into the Masters last year. So I expect him to play in the fall. I expect him to play well. I expect him to contend and get into some majors this season. Definitely one of those younger golfers. Huge guy, Australian guy, massive guy, hits it a long way. So I really like his game. Dylan Wu, just a huge fan. And then Bo Hostler. Yeah, playing the odds on Bo Hostler. I would have never guessed Bo Hostler would be plus 3,000. But when you come back and look at the cheat sheet, Bo Hostler where's he at? Yeah, this is him right here. 25th, 16th, 23rd. Playing pretty good. Has had some recent rounds where he went super low. I want to say it was, let's see, where else? Mm, Can't remember when it was, but he definitely had a Saturday round where he shot like 9 under par and some of the last events before the playoffs. So shout out Bo Hostler. Shout out advisors, man. Bo Hostler always rocking the visor. So he just stands out from the crowd. So we'll have a little bit of Bo. And then, yeah, last couple of lineups. I'll go through one core lineup too. Last couple of lineups, Seabez. I'm really big on Seabez. Think he is someone that can make birdies in bunches. And then two young guys here from a core standpoint that I'm playing up: Garrett Higo, Nick Hardy. Like both of them, Higo elite upside in terms of birdie making ability if he can eliminate the big numbers. And we've seen this guy right here, Mr. Chad Ramey. We've seen Chad play extremely well. I feel like Chad Ramey's a little bit of has a little bit of that Dylan Wu syndrome where the odds haven't caught up to how good he can be. So I like Ramey. I like Ramey a good bit. So yeah, those are my top rare lineups. And then coming down the core, I'm always playing my best core guys up. I reserved one core guy, Mr. Mark Hubbard, for my top core lineup. Mark Hubbard, captain, Kuchar, Dylan Wu, KH Lee, Chad Ramey. So I've already talked about just about all of these guys. I think Hubbard is due for kind of one of those breakout seasons. Hung around this year, made some waves, still doesn't have a win, but definitely the kind of golfer that could fare really, really well in this fall swing with some weaker fields. So I'm really, really big on Hubbard. All right. I can talk. So how long have I been talking? 36 minutes. 39 lineups submitted, 0 expectations. Top lineup captain. Stogie, hit me with top lineup captain. Going with Homa or somebody else? Let me know. Any questions, thoughts? I saw Hammer was building some lineups. He says making lineups is strenuous. Like I said, if you're out there listening to this, want to jump into the Discord, links in the description. Awesome community of people hanging out, talking fantasy, all the different fantasy things. But yeah, if you're out there making lineups this week, it is going to be fun. And the best sweat in sports is back. The cut sweat. Friday cut sweat, unlike any other sweat in sports. Captaining Mr. Jaeger. Yeah. DraftKings knows something. Can't ever claim to be smarter than DraftKings pricing algorithm. Just seems like I don't understand it. Doesn't really make a ton of sense. All right, I gotta build one team here. Let's build us a Heath Thigala team. Gotta cover all the bases. Haven't really looked at DFS golf. In the past, I've liked playing the fall swing in DFS golf, mostly to take a stand on a couple of guys, but you end up really struggling to find, or there will always end up being some chalk guys super cheap that seemingly either the optimizers have this guy or have these guys, or I've always missed out on these chalk guys, and it just seems like the PGA chalk always hits on the cheap guys. At least that's my take. What do we want to play? What do we have in the account? $72. Can we play a $50 single entry? $33? Of course, there's an $88. Let's go. Maybe we'll play Get Crazy. We got to get different to win the Sand Trap, but it would probably be one of the more fun tournaments. Let's go $25, $100K to first. Someone's gonna win $100K. Why not us? So if you're building, can you just fade the top? This is where ownership always comes into play. If Homa's going to be 30% owned in a 3-peat year, you guys want to fade Homa or not? Man, you can't really go Homa and Sahith at 50% ownership, 50+% ownership. We have to get so different. Yeah, I'm gonna fade home on this lineup. All right, let's go Sahith, and then we'll fade. Mm-mm-mm. Who is gonna be Novak? I feel like will be pretty popular. Here's the custom model that I was talking about on Rick's site. So put in some stats that I liked, ran the custom model, and this is what it spit out. Crazy, absolutely crazy. This lineup. I mean, just such a gross lineup. Akshay is in a lot of my lineups. Seabez, let's go Seabez. I like Seabez a good bit. How much is Cole? Yeah, Cole's in there a good bit. Man, see, and this is why I just don't like Sahith, I guess. Where the heck is Sahith in this model? Holy heck. Doesn't even fit. Doesn't even fit the model. Well, we're keeping him in. Keeping him in. Going against what the computer says. It's the beauty of golf, though. Dylan Wu. Let's get some Dylan Wu. Dylan Wu, is he going to be chalky, though? 12%. Yeah, it's pretty chalky for Dylan Wu. Pretty chalky for Dylan Wu. I guess Kevin Yu seems to be this. He's popping in the model for me as well. Not 100% sure why. I guess off the tee strong. Putting really the issue on Kevin Yu. I would have thought Novak would have been higher. Ramey doesn't look fantastic. Nobody down here looking all that chalky. Okay, so no cheap free squares. Looks like the cheapest free square, Robert Streb. Gonna be owned. Zach Blair, ZB. Gonna be owned. Doesn't PP love Zach Blair? PP, you like Zach Blair? Not really that much capital saved though on Zach Blair, 6,800. If you're gonna punt, I'd rather punt and go all the way to the bottom. All right. I'm thinking what about Hubbard? 8,300. Yeah, 7% ownership. We like Hubbard. We're gonna have to punt. We're gonna have to punt. We need to find some salary here. Okay, 7,300 left. What a pivot off Dylan Wu. Luke lists. Just a classic bomber. TJ is always on this Callum Tarrant. Definitely interesting. All right, where's chat at? Who do we like, chat? Fading Homa. Yeah, we know we're fading Homa. We got enough Homa and Reignmakers, so if it ends up being that. And this is probably even good to leave some salary on the table. Lipsky has been pretty decent. What's up with Lipsky? It's probably a much better way to do this. So, 7,300 on Lipsky. All right, we're gonna go Lipsky. And then what do we want to leave? Justin Lauer. I was big on Justin Lauer at the beginning of the season. Started to play fantastic. I think he was leading. What was he leading? Was he leading the waste management? I think he was leading the waste management early in the season. Man, he just faded. Had a couple opportunities to play well, but it seemed like one of those years where he could only play one or two solid rounds of golf. And hey, I get it. It is hard to play all those rounds. Play 4 solid rounds of golf. Harry Hall, another rookie from England. 7,100 Harry Hall. Gets it done with a flat stick and around the green. Short game. Scott Stallings, PEDs, Scott Stallings. I know, shout out to the ETR guys. I know Rufus, shout out Stogie as well. When we were building some best ball lineups on golf, Scott Stallings came up a good bit. Carson Young. I like Carson Young. Okay, who's the cheapest guy in the model? Seabez, we already got him. Chucky Hoffman, 7,300 would give us the exact salary. A 7,300 Charlie Hoffman. Mac Hughes, one of the better putters on tour. Just think you're going to have to do more than just putt here, though. Can't lose strokes off the tee and on approach. Just going to be impossible to win, especially in a birdie fest. Guys, I'm pretty inclined to play Grayson Sig and try to find the $100 somewhere else. I think we're going to do it. But where do we find the $100? If we play Sig, I think we have to come off Lipsky then. Matty Schmid? $7K, Matty Schmid. %3 ownership down here. All right, we're going to go Matty Schmid. We're going to save a smidge of salary. Not going to use the whole cap. Keep $200 on the table. Can that win us $100 grand? We'll see it. Seabaz, Eric Cole, Mark Hubbard, Matty Schmid, Grayson Sig, Sahith Tagala. All right, I think that's going to do it. No questions. I'll keep you guys posted in the Discord. Can't decide. Am I driving to West Virginia right now, or am I taking the early flight, landing in Denver, and trying to fire in lineups from Denver? I gotta look at the timing. Got to look at the timing. Feels dangerous. What about flight delays? I don't know. I'm not sure. All right. Appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. I probably won't be back next week. Nothing to talk about. Ryder Cup in 2 weeks. Definitely 2-show week. We'll have PJ on one of those shows. We'll talk through Ryder Cup, USA versus Europe. I'll be all over the USA squad, of course. Should be really fun. Europe squad looking really strong, though. Should be an awesome Ryder Cup. So you have to take a different flight from fam to I go Pittsburgh to Denver to San Diego. I know, not ideal. Can't fly anywhere direct from Pittsburgh though, so it is what it is. All right, all. Appreciate you tuning into a late night stream. Appreciate you dealing with my shenanigans all day, changing the stream time. Who knows how many times? But shout out to you all. Good luck. Get your lineups in. The best sweat in fantasy sports is back. And can't wait to tilt someone with someone on the cut line Friday afternoon. Cheers. Have a great weekend. Later.